Hi everyone, welcome you all. So previously we have discussed insertion sort. Actually we have seen how an insertion sort algorithm works, and today we are going to implement this into a program. So let us have a list. Let's say this is the simple list and we want to sort the element. So first of all we have to take since this is the part which is already sorted, so we have to sort this element, and this should go to the position 0 and 10 should shift toward the 1. Now how we can do it? Suppose we want to do it like this. So what we are going to do, we are going to take a variable called temp or a backup, whatever you want to do it, you can take it. Temp is equals to, let's say temp is equals to list of 1. Okay, because we want to sort this element, or we have to we have to pick this element and put it in a sorting order, right? Now what we are going to do, we are going to compare this temp with the all the elements previous to this. So we have only one element to this and we are going to compare it. So we will do somewhat like, if this temp is actually smaller than list of I minus 1, or you can say this, if this is 1, then it should be compared to the previous element, that is 0. Okay, and if this condition is true, then we are going to copy lst1 is equals to lst0. Okay, equals to and lst0. Okay, so now what if we execute this piece of our code, what it will do, it will simply copy 10 at 1. Okay, so now your position after execution of this will become somewhat like this: 10 10, and rest of the elements will remain same. Okay, somewhat like this. Now if you decrease one more value from 0 to 0 minus 1, it is equals to minus 1, which is the end of the list, or you can say there is no element in minus 1 position. So we will leave it. We can do, or we have to do this thing till we reach to the end. Okay, now so at the end, after we finish doing it, what we are going to do, we are going to just add the value, because if we decrease the value by 1, so the position we will get is minus 1, and if we increase by 1, we will get a 0. So at this place we are going to do somewhat like this: lst of 0 from 0, where because we have reached to the minus 1 position, minus 1 plus 1 is equals to 0. So at this point it is equals to 10. Okay, somewhat like this. Wait a minute, equals to and 10. Now after execution this piece of our code, what will be the final output of the program? It will be somewhat like this. Okay, we are going to copy this one, and if we substitute the value of a temp, which was initially the list 1 originally, that is 8. Okay, so after completing first element, you can see our list is sorted till position 0 and 1. Okay, now we will repeat this algorithm again. Now let us do it for 58, but it will not change since 50 is the greatest element, so this will remain same. Let us do it for this 5. Now what we are going to do, we are just going to copy this element and its position. So let's say it is a list of 3 and its literal value is 5. Okay, so that later on we can utilize this is the first step which we are going to do. Okay, now if we compare this list with the position of minus 1, that is 2, if we replace it, that is our 58. You can see it's a 58, and at this place you are 5, so the condition is true, and you have to do somewhat like this: 3 is equals to 2. So what it will do, it will simply copy 58 at this place. Okay, so you will be having somewhat like this: 58, 58, 10 and 8. Okay, now after reducing the value, let's say the value of this I is equals to -1, then it will decrease to 1. Okay, let us copy this piece of our code here and change the value. So now we have to compare this value with the 1, and you can see its value is 10, which is still less than. Now 2 is here and 1 is here. Okay, so what it will do, it will copy this 10 to the next position, that is here. So afterwards, your position, this is actually, this is the original list and we are sorting the fifth element. Now for the second time, what it will do, it will simply copy 10 in the position. Okay, now we have to repeat it since the condition is true. Now if you decrease the value of I, it will come to 0. So now if you have to compare it with 8, now you can see the condition is still true and you have 1 here and 0 at this place. Okay, so now the value at 0 will be copied to 1. That will make list look like this. Okay, now again, if we copy this and decrease the value of index value, that is 0, and it will come to -1, and we have to stop at this point since we do not have any negative index. We will assume that we do not have a negative index. So what it will do, we will stop and we will have somewhat like this: lst of -1. Actually we need to have -1 plus 1 is equals to the value temp. Okay, so now you have to pick the value of a temp that was originally 5 and place it at the 0, because -1 plus 1 is equals to 0. And so finally your list will look somewhat like this: 5. Okay, now you can see this portion of the list is shorted. Similarly for 16 also we can do it. What we'll do, let us analyze this. Suppose we have the list like this, and I'm going to scroll it here. Now what it will do, at the first step we will be having the temporary value of temp, that is 16, and then you are going to compare it. You will find that this condition is true, then 58 will be copied to the succeeding place, that is if you index it from 1 to 3 or 4, 5 and so on. So you will copy the value at position 8, 4 to 5, and rest of the list will remain same, somewhat like this. And then if you decrease it, now you have to compare 16 with 10. You will find the condition is false, and if the condition is false, that means you have I is equals to -2, or I is equals to 3. So 3 plus 1 is equals to 4, and you have to copy this value at the 4th position, and your value will be replaced, and you will again get the shorted list. So you have to keep on making room till you find till the condition is false or till you reach to the top, and this process is repeated for each and every element till the end, and you will find your array or your list will be sorted after n number of times. Okay, now let us convert this thing into your program. Okay, so I have already opened a IDE. Let's copy some of the elements, that is, let us have the original list. Let's copy this one and paste it here. Okay, it is pasted. I'm going to make a list. LST is equals to, let's say like this, comma delete, comma delete, comma delete, comma delete, comma delete, whatever. Okay, so this is the list. Now what we are going to do, we are going to just perform the first step, which says a temp is equals to LST of 0. LST of 0, that's particularly fine. And now what we are going to do, we are going to compare it. If let's say actually it should be 1, because we could not short the first element, it is already shorted if we talk about the first element. So we are going to short this portion of the list. Okay, 10 and 8. So 8 should come here and 10 should go here after the execution. So what we are going to do, we are going to have we are going to compare it. Temp is smaller than lst of 0, right? And if it is true, then what we are going to do, we are just going to copy lst1 is equals to lst of 0. So the previous element is copied to the next element. That is, if we found that temp is smaller than the element 0, then 10 will be copied to the next position. So we will be having list is equals to 10 10. Okay, let's print the list so that you can analyze what is the output of this program after this. Now what we need to do, we need to just place at the end, since we will reach to the end. If we decrease the value of I, that will be -1. So at this point we have to stop, and we have to have lst -1 plus 1 is equals to 0. So 0. So I'm writing straightforward. lst 0 is equals to the value, that is temp. Okay, and at the this place we are going to print the list again. So we are printing list 2 times, and let's see what is the difference and how it works. Okay, now you can check it out. Our list or this portion is shorted, right? And same thing we have to do it for this element, and then is this element, and then this element. So let us do it. Now instead of this, what we are going to do, we are going to use a while, and instead of this position, let's say this is the position value variable. Now for this time position was, let's say, 1. Okay, so here it is position plus 1, and here it is position, and here it is also a position. Wait a minute, let's see. Position, and it should be position minus it should be I. Okay, I is equals to position minus 1, and it should be I. Let's say we have I, and we have another I, and this is also I. Okay, and at this position we are going to use I plus 1. Okay, and here I'm going to decrease the value of I minus is equals to 1. Okay, so for the first, we are doing actually same program, but we just have replaced the value. Okay, till this is greater, or we are going to put another condition, and or I is, wait a minute, either this and it should be less than equals to 0. That will be fine. If the value decreases less than the 0, then we are going to stop it. Okay, now let us print this for the first values. We should get the same result, right? Let us execute this piece of our code, and voila, you can see I'm getting the same result. Now what we are going to do, we are going to put this thing into a loop. Okay, let's say for each and every element. Okay, so let's say position in range, again it should be from 1 to lst or len of list. Okay, that's perfectly fine, because we have to repeat it n number of time. First of all, the value of I will be 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then finally we are going to check out the result. And every time after every sorting, we will be printing the list. Okay, and just to get this differentiated every step, we are going to have 20. We will see how it is being sorted. Okay, we are going to get a error, p is not defined. Actually p is here, so let us get rid of all this and let us check it out. So finally you can check it out. Okay, there is a problem, I think. Okay. Actually, I missed a point. It should be I greater than equals to 0. Okay. Now, if you try to execute, now you will see that at the end, our list is shorted. Okay. Let's see. Well, let us analyze this one. So first of all, we are going to copy 10 and 10, and then the value is shifted. Okay, and then it is done for 58. Then there is no problem for 16. You can see 16, we are getting 16, 16, 16, and finally here you can see 58 and 58 is copied, then this 16 is placed since the condition is false, and then for 20 you can see there is no change. Okay, there is a change. You can see 50 is shifted, and similarly finally you get this element. Okay, and try to see how, figure it out how this thing is working, and if it is not working for you, try to just indent it inside the while and try to analyze the result. Definitely you will get what I'm talking about. And I'm not going to execute this and show you the result because I want you to make this program and do it yourself so that you can analyze it and get the things in your head. Okay, that's all for the day, and thank you and have a nice day.